Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. I hope your day is buzzing with good energy, because what we're unpacking today has the whole entertainment sphere vibrating like a plucked string. When this landed in our inboxes, we stared at the screen in silence. The kind of quiet that only follows after the most unexpected news. Yes, it's really happening. We're talking about the stunning development involving the powerhouse duo of the moment, Gökberk and Cemre. Buckle in, because we're going to sift through every ripple and every whisper in this storm of speculation, and give you the most complete, heartfelt take you'll find anywhere. Before we dive into the heart of this story, a quick reminder: if you're new here or simply forgot, hit that subscribe button for Secrets Behind the Stars and turn on notifications. You know we keep our ear to the ground, and you don't want to miss a single piece of what truly matters in this swirling universe of celebrity triumphs, missteps, and turning points. Join our community, share your thoughts, and be part of the conversation that everyone's having. Now, where do we even start with the whirlwind around Gökberk and Cemre? Social networks haven't slept in days. Headlines refresh by the minute, and even casual chats in cafes seem to circle back to the same question: what on earth just happened? The banner phrase alone, the shocking news about Gökberk and Cemre, is enough to raise the hairs on anyone's arms. It doesn't just tease, it demands attention. But what exactly shook us so thoroughly? What is the core of this surprise? From what's been verified and from what has stealthily slipped into the press through more or less reliable channels, the story points to a twist that nobody saw coming. A seismic turn in their relationship that has left 1,000 questions ringing through fandoms and boardrooms alike. Picture it, a perfectly ordinary day in their high-pressure, high-glamour lives. Meetings. Rehearsals. A quick coffee between commitments. And then, out of nowhere, a revelation that rearranges the entire picture. We all know celebrity life is a maze of unexpected turns, but this one seems to have crossed that invisible line and jumped straight into the realm of the unforgettable. The chatter humming through greenrooms, studios, timelines, and comments sections suggests the news is tied to a formal announcement about their next chapter, a chapter everyone assumed would be written together. Is it the engagement the internet has been predicting for months, the step that would cement what already looked like forever? Or is it something else entirely, a sharp pivot no one had on their bingo card? The rumors spread like dry brush catching fire, and in this haze of posts and hot takes, truth and imagination blend in a way that is almost impossible to separate. What's undeniable is the renewed spotlight on Gökberk and Cemre, two artists already orbiting at a brilliance that's hard to miss. Their supporters, a legion of devoted watchers who analyze smiles, looks, captions, and even the tone of a single emoji, have reacted with a messy, beautiful cocktail of concern and excitement. Some are visibly heartbroken, others are giddy with possibility, and many are strapped into that anxious waiting posture, refreshing feeds, hungry for answers. We've seen waves of tweets cascade across timelines, Instagram comment threads bursting with essays and theories, and long discussions in dedicated forums where every previous interview and red carpet glance is reinterpreted for clues. To properly grasp the scale of this moment, we have to rewind. Until very recently, Gökberk and Cemre projected steadiness, a rhythm that felt unforced and real. Their red carpet chemistry, their quiet gestures when they thought cameras weren't looking, the carefully curated snapshots of their downtime, all of it painted the portrait of two people moving in step. That's why today's shock lands so sharply. If the narrative has swerved this dramatically, it suggests something that can't be dismissed as minor or routine. It could be a career move of massive proportions. A joint endeavor of the kind that reconfigures both of their trajectories and sets a new standard for on-screen partnerships. Or it could be personal, a decision carrying a weight that shifts everything, a commitment deepened, a private joy that couldn't stay hidden, or a fork in the road that redraws the map of their future. In the vacuum left by the lack of an official statement, speculation rushes in. Some theories sparkle with optimism. Are we finally talking about a ring and a date? Could there be a baby on the way, a secret joy now peeking into the light? Others venture into more complex territory, a breakup that nobody imagined, or a professional redirection demanding that they navigate their bond in a brand new way. What makes this shocking, and not just news, is the magnitude implied by every headline tone, every insider hint, every gasp passing from post to post. In show business, a jolt like this can take many forms. It could be a crossover project that ties together their talents in a way we haven't seen before, a collaboration that smashes old molds and sets new expectations. Or it could be, as many suspect, a deeply personal development that profoundly affects them, on screen and off. We're all guilty, in some way, of wanting to read the margins of their story. And when the plot twists, curiosity doesn't just grow, it roars. We're watching, in real time, a wave of analysis unlike anything we've seen with this pair. Fans are connecting dots across months and even years, a pause in joint posts, a caption that reads differently in hindsight, the absence of a familiar silhouette at a premiere, or the surprising presence of one on a night no one expected. What begins as a whisper becomes a chorus, and soon the chorus is the conversation. Let's breathe for a second. If we're honest, part of the reason this cuts so close is because so many people felt invested in the story of Gökberk and Cemre. He, with that mix of intensity and vulnerability in his performances, cultivating a reputation for discipline and quiet generosity. She, with her luminous presence, fierce professionalism, and a talent that glitters even in the subtlest expressions. Together, they looked like a synergy that could outlast the volatility of the business. So to be facing a moment like this, whatever it is, feels like watching the horizon change while you're still standing on the shore. We need to reiterate a basic truth: until Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda speak for themselves, everything else is conjecture. Yes, even the sources that sound like they've seen the actual document. Yes, even the anonymous posts that claim room temperature tea is scalding. We can weigh possibilities and explore implications, and that's what we're doing here with compassion and care. But we're anchoring our take on what's responsible, reading the signs without pretending to be the voice behind them. If this is a professional fork, the fallout could be complicated in ways the public rarely sees. Imagine the ripple effects on contracts, co-stars, brand partnerships, scheduling, all the non-glamorous scaffolding that makes stardom possible. If they're stepping toward a joint venture, that could reset their entire creative landscape and propel them into a new league of cultural impact. If this is a personal milestone, a deepening, a family, a new chapter whispered into existence, then it also changes everything, though in a far more intimate way. And if it's a separation, as some fear, then the shock is not just the end of a chapter but the recalibration of everything built around it. Public expectations, shared supporters, and the tender, private work of finding balance after a fracture. In the last day alone, we've seen a tidal wave of questions. Could this stall ongoing shoots? Will brand campaigns be postponed or rewritten? If there's a big announcement planned, why now? Why like this? And if it turns out to be good news, why the cloak and dagger build-up? If it's difficult news, how do two people so beloved by their audience ask for space while offering the closure so many seek? The truth is, we don't know, and that honest not knowing is a better companion than a parade of confident falsehoods. As we sift through the fragments, one detail keeps surfacing: timing. The timing of this shock feels deliberate, whether by design or by necessity. Maybe it was about aligning with a contract window. Maybe it was about getting ahead of a leak. Maybe life simply made the decision and left everyone else to catch up. Whatever the case, the result is the same: a communal intake of breath and an urgent need to understand. Here's what we can say about the public response: it's intense and it's deeply human. There are messages from fans who grew up following their journey, who say Gökberk helped them feel seen through characters that struggled and persevered. There are notes from viewers who found strength in the poised resilience Cemre embodies, both on screen and at interviews where she sidesteps gossip with grace. There are people who found hope in their partnership, who projected their own dreams onto two people navigating spotlight and scrutiny. And now there's a sense of being unmoored, but also a determination to be kind, to be patient, to wait for their truth in their time. We also want to say this, clearly and repeatedly: respect matters. Respect for their choices, their privacy, their right to tell their own story in their own words. It's easy, in the rush to say the cleverest thing, to slide into malice dressed up as analysis. But kindness is a better look on everyone. Hold your theories lightly, and remember there are real hearts at the center of the headlines. Our commitment, here at Secrets Behind the Stars, is to stay at the front lines without losing our center. We'll bring you every significant update, parse official statements with care, and draw connections where they exist rather than forcing a narrative where it doesn't. We'll ask hard questions while keeping empathy in the room. Because that's how we want to be treated when life hands us the unexpected. Let's circle back to the possibilities, because they're the scaffolding of the conversation until facts arrive. If this is an engagement, it would be the culmination of a cadence that always felt headed in that direction. If it's a pregnancy, the tenderness of that revelation would explain the hush around it, the protective bubble built to house a fragile joy. If it's a professional revolution, say, a headlining collaboration so bold it demands total secrecy, then the shock is part of the strategy, a masterclass in intrigue. And if it is, heartbreakingly, a separation, then perhaps the shock is simply the dissonance between what we thought we knew and what life actually asked of them. Whatever the answer is, this moment changes how we watch. It reshapes the lens. Future appearances, future roles, future interviews will be viewed against the backdrop of today's tremor. And that, more than anything, explains why this has become a cultural talking point rather than just a fleeting headline. The story of Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda has always been bigger than a single event, but today's revelation is a hinge on which the door of that story swings. To those asking whether this will hurt or help their careers, remember that stars aren't made by smooth roads, they're forged in how people navigate the rough ones. If this is joy, it will be embraced. If it's change, it will be met with resilience. If it's grief, we hope the industry holds them gently while applauding the work that brought them here. The bond between artist and audience can stretch. It can bend. It often surprises us with its strength. So here's the plan, friends. We wait. We listen. We read any official statement with open minds and calmer hearts. And we stay grounded. While speculation explodes like fireworks, let's choose to be the steady flame in the room. You'll see updates from us the moment something concrete lands. We'll break it down, analyze the implications, and walk through what it means for upcoming projects, public appearances, and the delicate balance between the spotlight and the person standing in it. As we close today's deep dive, let's recap with clarity. The shocking news surrounding Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda has shaken fans, industry insiders, and casual observers alike. Specifics remain unconfirmed, and that is the single most important fact. Yet the intensity of the reaction and the language of the coverage point to a dramatic turn in either their personal lives or their professional path, a turn no one expected, yet everyone now feels. The theories are infinite, the truth will be singular. And it will belong first to them. Thank you for spending this time with us and for trusting Secrets Behind the Stars to navigate the noise with care. If this conversation resonated, tell us what you think in the comments. What led us here? What do you believe this moment means? We read everything, and your perspective always deepens the discussion. If this video kept you informed and grounded, don't forget to like, share with the people who know every beat of this story, and subscribe with notifications on so you're the first to know when real answers arrive. Until then, take a breath, hold space for nuance, and remember that even in a world built on spectacle, humanity is the headline. We'll be here when the next chapter turns.